all of the fallout of that decision, would you do it? And as we watch the various people in the administration make this decision personally, publicly, privately, as we look at all of the evidence of what is really going on, layers and layers of intelligence operations and organized crime operations unraveling, as we watch, because we're talking about, let's be clear, we're talking about the largest organized crime network in the world. Okay, the human traffickers are at the top of the organized crime pyramid because they're the ones that are doing the blackmail on everyone else, and you better fucking believe they're blackmailing the other criminals. That's business 101. Okay, and so when we're trying to take down Epstein, we're not just trying to take down Epstein's operation. We are a threat to the entire network of organized crime. And they are going to level everything they've got at stopping this, okay? And so maybe Pam Bondi is compromised. Maybe the evidence about her time in Florida, and the previous Jeffrey Epstein cases, maybe that evidence is legit, and maybe her Zionism and her positioning and Matt Gaetz getting forced out and her getting put in, maybe it is a conspiracy theory. Maybe she's here to cover it up. Or maybe she's genuine and she actually wants to save America, and she's just up against the most powerful transnational criminal organization that the world has ever known. And they are fighting for their lives right now. Anyone that was informed about the state of the Israel question and the state of the Jeffrey Epstein network, you should have known that this was not going to be easy. As far as I can, if I had to speculate, I think they would rather bomb America. I think they would rather commit egregious acts of terror, kill hundreds of thousands of people, than allow the true story to come out right now. Because if this story comes out, not only is Israel's entire future existence threatened, but so is the future of all of these organized crime networks, not just the traffickers, but also the smugglers, also the cartels, also the drug runners, the drug producers. Okay? Not to mention all the people that are blackmailed, that like to do horrible things to children and want their life to keep on going how it's going and not go to prison and worse. And so, to circle it all back and to kind of put a bow on it, this shit's super complicated. I do this for a living. I spend all day researching this shit. I actually get to meet some of these people and get to know them a little bit. And I have no fucking clue what's going on. Admittedly, I am not the brightest fucking crayon in this box. I can't even get that phrase right. But even if you are the brightest fucking crayon in the box, even if you're Ben Shapiro and you have 180 IQ and you're a fucking super genius that understands everything and is going to tell everyone all about it, you still probably don't fucking understand what's going on here because you're not in that room. You're not reading that document. You didn't see that interaction. It is super complicated, okay? And so I'm not saying you can't solve it, and I'm not saying we shouldn't try. What I'm saying is that we should be very vigilant and very careful, because when you're in a fight for your life with an enemy of enormous resources, skill, and experience, you don't just charge in like a fucking retard, okay? You got to have some tact. You got to have some strategy. You got to think carefully. We only get to do this once, okay? And if we fuck it up, those consequences will reverberate throughout history for all of time. And it would probably be great if it wasn't a bunch of numbskulls like me and like all the rest of us in this influencer decentralized media space. It'd be great if we could have some like actual professional journalists actually doing the job right. But this criminal cabal has paid off, bought off, blackmailed, fired, and ostracized all the real journalists for the last 50 years. And now there's not a whole lot of them left. So, this is the team that we've got. The influencers that we got, the journalists that we've got, the people that we got. All y'all in the out there, all you diggers, you anons, this is who we are. This is our team. And we have to do our best with the skills that we've got, with the preparation that we've got, with the information that we've got. And I would be dumbfounded if anyone would genuinely approach this and try to tell me that the right response right now is emotional, rash, rushed, angry screaming. And that's most of what Twitter was. All of yesterday and all of today. Okay? Yes, it is fun. especially when Zelensky is a total piece of shit in the White House and he gets absolutely dunked on by Trump and Vance. Holy shit. It's hilarious and it's fun to be a little unhinged. And I'm not trying to say we don't be unhinged. I'm just saying that some things matter way more than other things. And the Epstein story is the thing that matters more than anything else. Because even if you aren't that concerned specifically about Epstein, but you're concerned about other things, the way that Epstein ties into all these other things, Epstein is the perfect illustration of Israel. And Epstein is the exact thing that is going to crack the Israel question wide open and finally free our nation from this yoke of this foreign, blackmailing, subversive, oppressive, whatever the fuck this relationship is. Okay? It's not going to be the USS Liberty. It's not going to be 9/11. It's not even going to be the JFK assassination. It's going to be Epstein. And for good damn reason. Jeffrey Epstein's network was an act of war against our country. Had any of our enemies done this, if this had been Iran, if these books had been about an Iranian network, there would not be a single fucking soul in Iran today. America would have obliterated it years ago. Okay? And we all know that. If it had been China, North Korea, even if it had been Guatemala, we would have fucking leveled them. But it's Israel. And Israel has been working this relationship for a very long time in very complex ways. And it is not a simple thing to disentangle. Strategy, composure, poise, a lot of grace and care. Because remember, to wrap it all up, to remind ourselves, these are all real people with real lives, with families, right? Every one of these people, it's easy to see them as a talking head online, as just some fucking piece of shit that I hate you, you're evil, all you do is spit propaganda, you're a horrible. They're still a person, though. And they still have a family, they still have kids, they still have hopes and dreams. And the children of our country were the victims of this crime. It's really easy to hold up a binder and be like, hooray, I get publicity, I'm going to expose the Epstein client list. You're holding a binder that's about children being raped and sometimes killed, okay? And the Epstein network was just the tiniest drop in the bucket that is the human trafficking, child sex trafficking, child slavery networks in our country today. Ryan Mata and J.J. Carroll spent the last 3 years working to make 3 different documentaries exposing the child and human trafficking scandal at the border. And what we know of is there are hundreds of thousands of missing children that have been trafficked into slavery, into labor, and into sex work in our country right now. This is about the kids. This is about children. This is about saving and protecting our children, okay? And anyone that's going to side with some foreign nation over American children, you're going to have to live with that decision. And that is the decision that's being made here. That's what the button is. The button is expose the trafficking and end it. Go after it with everything we've got and save the children from a life of sexual and abusive slavery. Or it's put a foreign nation first and cover up their crimes. And by extension, cover up the crimes of all of these trafficking networks and pretend that it's not happening. That's the question that all of us have to answer. And that's the question that I am posing directly to you, Ben Shapiro, and to you, Charlie, and to Jordan, and to Megan, and to Lex, and to Gad, and to Laura, all of you guys. If the Epstein documents directly implicate Israel, are you still in support of a full release of their documents, of their contents? And if not, you should fucking move to Israel. Right? So, I think that's more than enough for tonight. I think I've said more than enough things that can be clipped and weaponized and turned into... Okay? So let's reiterate. All those people clipping my words and taking them out of context, they're fucking stupid. Because they are exposing the very propaganda that protects pedophiles like this. We just had a relatively nuanced, complex discussion that I did my best as just a mortal human to elucidate some of these ideas. I could have done better. Sue me. The thing about this job is that you have to make a choice every day about whether or not you're going to do things. You have to make a choice about whether or not you're going to speak up. You have to make a choice about whether or not you're going to say what needs to be said. And you don't get to choose what needs to be said. You don't get to choose what goes on. You don't get to choose what issue comes up. When you start looking into what's really happening, you don't get to choose what is really happening. I didn't start this to find out about child sex trafficking rings. I want nothing to fucking do with that. I started this to learn about stock markets and about Bitcoin and about GameStop and shit. But in trying to figure out what's really going on, this is where we've wound up. This is what's really going on, okay? And so I have a choice to make. Do I speak up about what I see going on? Or do I stay silent? And when you make that choice, you have to realize that you might not do it perfectly. You might not say it right. You might misstep. You might fuck up. You might get something wrong. There's a million reasons to not speak up, right? There's a million reasons to not press record, to not put something online, to just sit this one out. Sitting this one out is choosing not to press that button and choosing for that fate to befall America, choosing for this to continue happening to children. So this was me doing my best to address this central question at the heart of what is about to be an extremely messy public investigation of some sort, either investigation or cover-up. And if we don't keep the complexity of this question in mind, this loyalty, this blackmail, this duality of who are you serving in mind, we will not be able to understand not only what's happening in front of us, but also what is happening behind the scenes. So that's all we got for tonight. I love you all. I appreciate you all tuning in. I love everyone. I love this whole country, except for Ben Shapiro. I'm kidding, Ben. I'm kidding, Ben. I kind of can tolerate you too. But that's our night tonight. We'd love it if you'd share this, press like, leave a comment. A lot of cool things are about to be coming up in the next week or two for me. And I'll let you know when we get there. Hopefully, the optimistic version of what's to come comes. Hopefully, Pam and Cash are doing everything within their power to right these wrongs, to save these kids, to expose this evil. And for now, I'm operating on optimism, and I'm remaining vigilant. I would invite you all to take a similar stance, because the moment we're all assuming the worst, we are giving permission for that to become reality. So let's hold them all to a high standard. Let's hold ourselves to a high standard. And let's save the kids. Like, let's not let our fucking country continue to be the number one purveyor and consumer of child sex trafficking in the world.
Conspiracy theories are dangerous.
Information is the oxygen of a democracy.
With Republicans, with progressives, with libertarians, because this is not about right and left, this is about right and wrong.
It's so sick that we can't talk.
Our security is at stake.